and this is it. Good morning, families, friends, distinguished guests, and cadets. We woke up this morning and towed the line in our bays for the last time for the rest of our lives. And we just went through 154 days of constant learning and progression to become human beings that have something to offer to the world. For some, the days of homesickness will come to an end, and for others, they'll now begin. Some of us will reunite with our families, and some of us are getting ready to leave the only family we've ever known. Now I'm going to tell you all a story, and it's about a young man that I used to know, or at least I thought I knew. And this guy was known as a well-kept young man by everybody. He worked daily, and he helped take care of his family, and he just handled his business. And I thought he had it all figured out. And this guy seemed invincible. But he wasn't. Nobody knew about his agonizing sleepless nights, and everything he was nothing but a facade. He made this bed of lies, and he fell asleep in it. And he was a mess on the inside. He couldn't find the direction that he wanted to go in life, and he lived his life as a delirious wanderer in a barren desert, desperately searching for what can get him by day. And he kept all of his pains and all of his struggles to himself so he could present himself as someone who had it figured out. And he had everybody fooled. Suddenly he found himself being 17 years old and diagnosed with major depression, anxiety, and panic disorder. Literally just like that. And one early December morning, he was sitting on the edge of his bed in this ice-cold room, and this room of self-pity and just denial, waiting to take his next pill to numb himself and drift away from reality. And he stopped, and he stared at that little transparent tube of Prozac, and he realized that he needed a change. But that change had to start with him. He couldn't be the man that he wanted to be without taking full control of his life. And he was no longer going to let his mood and his state of mind be dictated by a capsule of false bliss. That young man died shortly after his epiphany. But here I am. See, I was that young man, and I enrolled at the academy to find myself, so I could be a man of courage and integrity and compassion for my mom, my brothers, my sister, and myself. I stand before you as so, a man of valor, a man of veracity, and a man of devotion, and I'm ready for what life has to throw at me. Brothers and sisters, this is for you. About 2 months ago, I stood in front of you in the dining facility as your cadet commander, and I told you to embrace your struggle, conquer it, and move forward. And I stand in front of you now as a proud leader. I wouldn't have wanted to lead any other group of young men and women. Wolfpack, you showed resiliency, perseverance, and fortitude. When your platoon hit rough waters mid-cycle, you all displayed brotherhood and teamwork, taking home the win at T-Bex. And Eagles, the few of you that I have gotten to know have represented yourself with the utmost amount of poise, dignity, and determination. And I have nothing but respect for each and every one of you. Now, Spartans. Now I know this speech was supposed to be short, but after everything that we've been through, the joy, the pain, and the tears, I swear I could talk about you guys for the rest of my life. Every single one of you is a part of my family, and I mean that with every amount of sincerity in my heart. You all made me proud to be a Spartan, and this is a brotherhood that will never die. We entered the 2nd Platoon Bay as individuals with our own agendas, but we now leave as a team and as a family. We were faced with obstacles every single day of the cycle, and we persevered and we made it. And it takes a different breed of youth to be able to successfully complete this academy. You have to be tenacious, you have to be strong, and you have to be willing. So cadets, give yourself one. But what happens now? Honestly, just ask yourself right now, what happens now? What happens when those best friends of yours, who were too busy to write you while you were fixing your life, refuse to relate with your new set of morals, and they ask you to take a shot or a hit for old time's sakes, because one time won't hurt you, said the addicted and the afflicted. What happens when you study your heart out for the exam, day and night, no sleep, and you still don't get that passing grade? And all you're left with are bloodshot eyes and a desk littered with empty Starbucks cups. And what happens when a loved one passes away? Because tomorrow's not promised for anybody. Are you going to let the harsh, cold winds of adversity blow down every single thing that you've been working so hard for? Or will you look life in the eye and drive on? Because the world outside the academy is the exact same as we left it. And reality is that the world is unfair and doesn't yield for us. We are the masters of our own fate. And after 22 weeks of rigorous mental and physical training, we are now equipped with the proper coping skills for any situation that life has ready for us. Now, early in the cycle, Commandant Acuna had spoke to all of us about creating a sword, and we related it to our growth here at the academy. We entered this academy without any form, just this raw ore with rough edges. And we walked into the fire, the inferno of change on day 0. The acclimation phase had begun. Our minds and our bodies were thrown into the biggest culture shock that some of us had ever experienced. And once it ended, we saw our form begin to take place. And we knew that this was real, and it worked. And once school started, the heat had intensified. We were in charge of our own studies and had to learn how to balance life in the bay and in the classroom. And we were forced to break down our walls of pride, and we were put in a position where we realized we needed others around us to succeed. The concept of teamwork had bloomed in each and every one of our minds like a field of magnolias. And then TBEX happened. And for those of you that don't know, we all went camping as a company to conduct team building exercises, and we sharpened our sword. Knowing what it looks like to be a team, all 3 platoons put their heads together and triumphed through the amazing race and bonded as one. We grew together personally and as a team. And everything after TBEX was just the stage of polishing. The standards were known, and we just had to meet them and rise above them, smoothing out our rough areas and preparing for what was to come in the near future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the sword that we have so diligently worked on is ready and is being put to the test against real adversity, the challenges that lie outside the academy's gate. Now, statistics say that roughly 25% of the cadets in each platoon that graduate are going to return to their old ways. And last time I checked, we're human beings and we're not numbers. You are in control of your own life. Don't be a number. You need to embrace your struggle and rise. Thank you all for everything that you helped me learn about myself and the world around me. To all my family here, would you please stand? Mom, grandma, brothers, and sister, I made it. And I'm coming home and we'll fix what's been broken and we'll see better days. Mom, thank you for never stopping and always believing and holding on to your vision of success for me. I aspire to be as strong as you, and it's always been you and me, Mom. When he hurt you, I was right by your side while you cried, and you continued to do your best when times were hopeless. And there's going to be a day where I make sure that you live with ease. And I promise, Aaron, Isai, Emmanuel, I know I'm your older brother, but I'll always fight for you and love you as if you were my own kids. Uriah, Miles, You guys are going to great places in life, and I'll always look up to you as my older brother. Marcus and Celia, thank you for coming today, and I'm excited for what life has for us. We'll fix what we missed out on for these past 17 years. Please be seated. One last thing before I turn the microphone over. I couldn't leave here without a clean conscience, without thanking my second platoon cadre, case managers, staff, and teachers. You changed me for the better for the rest of my lives, and I'm forever grateful for everything that you've done. I won't let your training and your long days go to waste, because we're a part of something bigger than just ourselves. We're a family, and we're Cycle 2016-1, and we're the future. Don't expect everything to be smooth sailing from here on, because the waters are choppy out there. The real winners in life are those who check their inner compasses and keep sailing forward. Not around the storm, but straight through it. Not fearing what's ahead, but remembering why they set sail in the first place. Now, I want everybody here to sound off with I am after my next question. Who's unstoppable? I am. Thank you all.